Good morning. Happy Sunday. Today is October 4th. Yay! And thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. We're going to dive deep today. And I'm going to share with you a lot of stuff that's going to help you make your life smoother. Today's session is called It's Not a Curse, It's a Blessing. Okay. I'm going to start off with a very personal story. I didn't have my kids till later on because I had 4 miscarriages before I had my first son, William, who you've seen playing the guitar. And that happened over a span of years. And finally was able to carry William to full term. And I had one of those tests done where they stick the needle in your, that long needle all the way into your stomach. And I felt it all. 3 days later, they called us into the office and they said, we have some news. We're pretty sure that your son has Down syndrome. And you need to decide if you are going to terminate the pregnancy or move forward. I left the office completely shell-shocked. And I got home and I was so furious with God. God, how could you do this to me? I had 4 miscarriages. I finally am able to get pregnant. And this is what I get? How could you do this? And I was very upset. We decided to move forward with the pregnancy and see, maybe the test is wrong, see what happens. And he didn't have Down syndrome, but he had autism. And I ran myself into the ground for years between going to and poor William, he had therapy before school. He had therapy at school. He had therapy after school. He had therapy on the weekend. And and everyone around me is saying, fix him. He's not normal. Fix him. And I'm like rowing as fast as I could. And I did this over a span of years. This was my whole agenda. And poor Wesley is in the infant carrier seat and he's just being dragged along from place to place. And it was all about fix him. Because our thoughts, and I'm introducing this today, I'm calling this our thought box. The thoughts that we have in our head, our thoughts was, he's not normal, fix him. You got to do something about this. You got to make this right. And I poured myself into it and I thought, well, I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a social worker. If I really apply myself, I give it 3 years. I'll have him cured between me and this whole team of therapists in 3 years. So then I went to an autism workshop one day. And after the lunch, we broke off into afternoon sessions. And I was already on edge. Okay, I was already on edge. I just was in denial and I just didn't even want to be there. So anyways, I go into the afternoon session and across the chalkboard, it reads in big letters, autism is a lifelong disease. And I flipped out. I was completely pummeled. I took the handout. I walked out of the classroom. I didn't hear another word. I walked out of the classroom. I ran to my car. I drove home. I bolted in the house and everybody knew something was wrong. And I just said, watch the boys. I need time to myself. And it was just this screaming session of How could you do this to me, God? How could you dump on me like this? How dare you? And I was really hating on God for doing this to me. I don't deserve this. I didn't ask for this. And I wasn't pretty. I've come a million miles since that place. William came here to help me learn. Okay. And it was extremely difficult years. Extremely difficult years. And what I had to learn over time was that William was not a curse. He was a blessing. And to this day, he blesses people. And my perspective now is that he is so pure in heart. I feel like I don't even deserve him. I feel like he's better than me. So, and I think he is. And so my whole perspective, our whole thought box, all of the thoughts we have, this is representing our thoughts in our brain. You know, my thoughts changed. Okay. And that's why we are here, to learn these lessons, because a person believes things because he or she has been conditioned to believe them. You were conditioned by your parents, by your family, by teachers that you had. And it doesn't matter if it was true or not. This is what you were conditioned with. And it may not be true. And yet we are still carrying around these thoughts, whether they're true or not. Okay, so what I want to do is share with you today about challenging your own thoughts, learning to see different perspectives, and just busting out of this and growing and having so many more different perspectives, because there's nothing more unattractive than a closed mind, right? We want to be open. We want to learn. I am learning. I'm in a growth mode where I'm learning. And I don't want it to stop. I don't want it to stop. Good morning, Ada. I love you, sister. Okay, so the first card here says, I am able to see things through a different perspective, and I clearly communicate what I see to others. So what this is saying is, I'm willing to take in a different perspective, and I communicate what I see to others. Now you see all the fighting that's going on right now, things that are going on, fighting, arguing over this candidate, that candidate, what this party said, what that party says. So be able to hear it and clearly communicate. So instead of just jumping on the top of the heap and getting into the fighting of it with this person, say, okay, so what I hear you saying is you believe that blank. Is that true? Because an overwhelming majority of arguments are about misunderstandings. I've had long-term relationships where we were arguing, and I came to the realization that we were both saying the same thing, just different points of view. But we were on the same side. Think before you speak, okay? Allow other people to have their own perspective, knowing that their thought box is different than yours, okay? And if they make a good point, hey, maybe that's something I want to add to my thought box. If I messed up, maybe that's something I want to take from my thought box. See, there's a big difference between core values and your thoughts. You don't want to get away from your core values, you know, if you're a particular, of a particular faith, a particular, you have strong beliefs about the real big stuff. But when it comes to the smaller stuff, like arguing, having disagreements, different points of view, because we're so polarized right now, be willing to be open. Keep your mind open and think about, the other person's perspective. Take it in, let it go, or if they have something good to say, hey, I never thought about it that way before. An open mind is a beautiful mind. The next one says, I have a healthy, flexible, balanced way of seeing, thinking, and reacting to the world around me. Okay? So this is saying, be flexible. Don't judge. Know that they are speaking from their own thought box. And everyone's got a different one. Everyone sees things differently. Are you surprised that we don't get along and that everyone's got a different perspective? It's bound to happen. We all have different sets of thoughts. And we have to remember that. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that you're right and they're wrong. It's just a different perspective. No judgment. Okay? Be flexible in knowing this. The next card says, by being objective and having clarity, I know that true wisdom transcends one person being right and the other person being wrong. True wisdom. Think for yourself. Outside of the box, your thought box, and what you want to do is choose to rise above it. Be the bigger person. Be the wise, calm person and not the gaslighter. Rise above it. Rise above the bickering and the she said and he said and they, I can't believe they think blah, blah, blah. Rise above that and enter the realm of love where the divine is. Okay? Go to that place in your mind and realize that this is trivial stuff. This is petty stuff. God is still in charge. So why are we wasting our precious energy arguing or whatever it is? God's still in charge. Go straight to him. Go straight to the divine. And remain in that dimension of love where you're looking down and seeing everything happening, but you're okay, you're stable, you're balanced, you're flexible. Okay? Last card we have here today is compassion. I see and feel others' points of views with forgiveness and kindness. With forgiveness and kindness. Okay? So when your thought box starts creeping up and saying, yeah, I don't think so. That person's so way off base, blah, 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 blah. I can't believe, how could they be so stupid, blah, 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 blah. No. Compassion. Because the answer is always some form of love. And when you're bad-mouthing someone else, you're dragging yourself down, whether you realize it or not. The need to be right, the need to have the last word, all of that stuff is dragging you down. Use compassion instead. Forgiveness and kindness. Because really, when you look at the big picture and you're thinking about what other people think, what difference does it make, really? Really? In the big picture of things? What difference does it make? Let it go. They think what they think. You think what you think. We're all allowed to have our own opinion, right? Just let it go. Let it go. You're above that. You're above that. Put yourself above that. Oh, I love all your comments. Thank you so much. Okay. Your thoughts, your thought box in your brain. This is your thought box. We're using this today because it's October and I love fall. Your thought box, your thoughts in the equivalent emotionally is like your spine. Is like your spine. Okay? And yes, you can unfriend miserable people that drag you down because you don't need anything lowering your vibration. Your thoughts are like your spine. Okay? Are you going to be wishy-washy and not standing straight? Or are you going to be straight? and tall and wise, knowing you're not going to let someone else's thoughts, someone else's mood, someone else's agenda lower you, get you in a, lower position. No, be strong, be straight, stand tall, okay? And keep openings in this, because there's so much wisdom in the world. We don't know it all. Take in good stuff. Let your box grow. Toss out the old stuff. Add new perspectives and wisdom to your thought box and let go of what no longer serves you. And I'm going to leave you with one final analogy. There's things that no longer serve us. Have you ever said something and you said, oh my God, that's exactly what my mother would have said. I'm turning into my mother. I'm turning into my father. My father. Have you ever done that? I have. My kids always grew up with swimming pools, so I was always the room mom. I always had the birthday parties at my house, the end of school, beginning of summer parties, they were always at my house. And one year it was a birthday, and all the kids just had their birthday cupcakes, and they were kind of sitting around the pool. I'm like, you got to wait 20 minutes before you jump in the water. And the kids were all like, okay. And 3 minutes later, they're all in the pool, laughing, having a good time. And I was like, first I was like, nobody listens to me. And then I realized that's an old thought that needs to come out. That's an old thought that needs to be let go of. Let go of what no longer serves you. Catch yourself in the moment and say, okay, yeah, that's the last time I'm going to say that, because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't work. It serves no purpose. Or I would always hear, wear a scarf around your neck so that you don't get a cold. We know now that being cold doesn't make you get a cold, right? It's being exposed to germs. So, take some time to think about your thought box, let go of what no longer serves you, but even more so, be willing during this time when we are more polarized than ever to not say anything. When you disagree with somebody, don't say anything. You don't have to jump into the heap. Let it go, rise above. Because you're better than that. And you're setting an example for other people of, I don't need to go there because I'm better than that. I'm wiser than that. Be the wise one and rise above to where the divine is, where it's just love. No judgment. No judgment. Because in the end, really, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Okay? So you do you, boo. I am sending you so much love. I love that you are here today. I want you to have a great week. And I will see you tomorrow. I am sending you so much love. Okay, you know what? I still can't get this right. Take care. Sending you love. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you, okay? All right, bye.